Hello students, now in first lecture we studied about there are three kind of motions in a planar motion. One is translation, another is pure rotation, and third one is general plane motion. So let's first start with translation. So what is a translation? Now suppose there is a body which is at initial position, so after certain time it will be having new position. Now if while moving from position 1 to 2, if any line in the body remains parallel during its motion, so we call it is pure translation. That means during motion, whenever at any instant, if we look at the line, any line on the body, so that will always remain parallel to its original orientation. So that we called as translation. Now while covering certain distance under pure translation, so each particle will follow a certain path. So if that path followed by the particle is in straight line, so we call it is rectilinear translation. Keep remember, under pure translation every particle will have a path which is parallel to each other. So you can see this is particle 1, this is particle 2. So when they will be under pure translation, their path will be always parallel. So if that path followed by the particle which will be parallel, obvious, if it is in straight line, so we call it is rectilinear translation. And if during translation, if path followed is curve path, obviously that both paths will be parallel. But if the path followed is curved, so we call it is curvilinear translation. Now at any time t, if body is under translation or in linear motion, we have certain laws to find out the velocity and the distance moved, and those relations are v is equal to u plus at, v square minus u square is equal to 2as, and s is equal to ut plus half at square, where v is the final velocity, u is the initial velocity, a is the acceleration, t is the time, and s is the displacement. Now if body is under pure translation, so we need to study also about the velocities of each and individual particle. So let's see. Now next is, so we assume a body, and in that body we assume two particles, particle A and particle B. Now in this case, if we need to observe the translation motion, so we need to assume two reference axes, coordinate axes. So one will be translating coordinate axis and one will be fixed coordinate axis with respect to which the body will move. So if we assume the fixed coordinate axis, now with respect to that, the location of A particle and B particle will be RA and RB. Now with respect to translating axis which will move with respect to body, so let's assume that origin of translating coordinate axis at about A. So with respect to A, the position of B will be RBA. So what is RBA? It is the position vector of B with respect to A. And what is RA and RB? These are the position vector of A and B with respect to fixed coordinate system, which is fixed during the motion of any body. Now, so by the vectorial sum, we can have RB. So RB vector will be equal to RA plus RBA. Now, let's differentiate this equation. So if we'll differentiate this equation, what we'll get? So rate of change of this position of this B point. So it will give you the velocity of B, and then rate of change of this RA vector will give us velocity of A, then plus d by dt of RBA. Now if it is pure translation, then position of point B or particle B with respect to A will be always constant. That means during translation, if it is pure translation, then RBA will be always constant. So if RBA will be always constant, then derivative of this RBA will be equal to 0. And hence from this above equation, what we'll get? VB is equal to VA, and as well as if again we'll differentiate, we'll get AB is equal to AA. That means if the body is under pure translation, so velocity of each particle will be equal, as well as acceleration of each particle will be equal. So that is the conclusion from pure translation. So keep remember, under pure translation, velocity of each particle and acceleration of each particle will be same. So that we called as pure translation. Now next is pure rotation. So rotation about fixed axis. As we know, if any body is rotating about fixed axis, so what happens? So each and every particle will move with a constant angular speed about certain axis or certain point. Now the velocity of each point will depend upon the distance from its center of axis of rotation. Now if at any time, if we need to find out the angular velocity of any particle, so we have certain laws, which is omega is equal to omega naught plus alpha t, where omega is the final angular velocity, omega naught is initial angular velocity, and alpha is the angular acceleration, and t is the time. Again, we have omega square minus omega naught square is equal to twice alpha theta. So here what is omega? Angular velocity. And what is angular velocity? It is rate of change of angular position or angular displacement. Now what is theta here? So theta is the angular displacement. And again we have theta is equal to omega naught t plus 1 by 2 alpha t square. So these relations are similar to the relation with respect to linear motion. So this is a relation with which we can find out the angular velocity or angular position of any particle after time t. Now what happens if we need to find out the velocity of any particle at certain point or at particular location? So next is, now we can see, so there is a particle P which is moving about center O. So this O point is fixed. So keep remember, whenever a body is under pure rotation, so it will always rotate about axis which will be fixed. So we assume a particle P and the position vector of this P with respect to O is Rp. So velocity of this particle P with respect to O will be directly proportional to distance of this particle P from center of rotation. So that is Rp. So we have relation between angular velocity and linear velocity, that will be V is equal to omega Rp. So velocity of this particle will be, linear velocity of this particle will be equal to V is equal to omega into Rp, where Rp is the position vector and omega is the angular velocity with which this point P is rotating about center O. Now how we need to find out acceleration? So let's differentiate this equation with respect to t. So when we'll differentiate, so let's apply product rule. So what we'll get? D omega by dt into Rp, then plus omega into drp by dt, because we know differentiation of A into B is equal to dA by dt into B plus dB by dt into A. So by this we'll get this relation. Now d omega by dt, this is what? Rate of change of angular velocity. So this will give us angular acceleration, and here is vector Rp. Now plus we'll get omega and this d by dt of Rp. So what is d by dt of Rp? It is rate of change with this rate of change of the position vector. So that will give you the velocity, and that velocity, so this will give us V value, rate of change of velocity V of particle P. So that V is equal to omega into Rp. So from this relation, we'll get this. Now after that, you can see acceleration of the particle which is under pure rotation will be equal to the sum of two acceleration parameters. So one is tangential component and one is normal component. So tangential component, acceleration component of particle P will be, which is at, will be equal to alpha into r, and normal component will be equal to omega into Rp. Now when we'll solve this and when we'll apply right hand thumb rule, so we'll get minus omega square r. Why we'll get minus? Because normal velocity will be in direction of negative r. That's why here we'll get minus. So tangential component will be alpha into r, and normal component, which will be towards center of rotation, will be minus omega square r. So this equation is giving us vectorial sum. And now if we need to find out magnitude of acceleration, so what we'll do, we'll take root square, we'll take the root of square of this acceleration, tangential component as well as normal component. So this is how we can find out the acceleration of the particle which is under pure rotation. So velocity formula will be V is equal to omega r, and acceleration will be equal to the sum of tangential component as well as normal component. So magnitude will be under root of square of sum of the square of tangential and normal component. So this is how we can find out the velocity and acceleration under pure rotation. Thank you.